What are you talking about? Aemon's mental state, he's going to either be like so discouraged that he's not going to be able to perform at all, or he's going to be so angry that he's just flustered and all over the place. His strategy is going to be shit. Daemon's going to take that. It's a walk in the park for him. So this is going to be a discussion of Daemon versus Aemond, a fight that we assume is going to happen at some point in the future. This will be a non-book spoiler video discussion. We're only going to be using season 1 of House of the Dragon for our reasoning or for our discussion, I guess, because I don't have a particular stance on this just yet. We got to get talking about it. But I think it's safe to say this fight's going to happen in one way or another. And I think we can figure out who's going to win definitively in this video.
Right. And this is them right at the end of season 1.
Yes.
Spoilers for season 1 of House of the Dragon.
Who would win, I should say. Not who is going to win, but who would win based on season 1 of House of the Dragon only.
And go ahead, smash that like button. Like, Daemon is smashing, everything that has white hair on it, I guess.
Correct. And nothing else. And nothing else.
So my first thought when we brought this up, right, and this is only season 1 spoilers, is Daemon in his prime is an amazing warrior, but he's kind of out of his prime here. Isn't he kind of like a little on the older side here now that he's got how many kids now? He's like he should have 5 kids. He has 4 kids now. The man probably has a little, probably slowed down here a little bit.
I think so too. I think his T's probably dropping a little bit, especially now since he's not exercising his legendary semen retention. It's known throughout all of Westeros. Everybody talks about Daemon Targaryen semen retention. We saw in the first, what do you say, like 3/4 of the season, he's constantly exercising semen retention practices, and it got his T through the roof. He's probably looking at like 900 to 1,000, whatever units it uses to measure your testosterone levels. Now, looking at him, not only in his behavior, but we can kind of see it. Doesn't he kind of look like a chimp? This picture that you chose is actually perfect. He's got those monkey ears. He kind of looks a little jovial, like he's having a good time, not thinking about battle at all. Whereas if you look over at Aemond, dude, he is ready to go.
Yeah, look at that sharp chin. And look at his little dull chin on the left here. I was about to say Matt Damon, but it's Matt Smith.
Matt Smith Damon. But yeah,
dull chin. But look at this. If I go to the next slide over, look at him in his prime.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, David Daddy. And I will say these two have the biggest simp. Simp is the right word to say, but they're the biggest people simping after them in the community of A Song of Ice and Fire. Number 1 is Daemon, with by far Daemon is the first.
Yeah.
But
and I agree with that, by the way. But yeah, I you know what? I'll jerk off Daemon a whole lot more because we've seen more of him. We've seen him go through various phases of his life, and he's just so many great one-liners and bantering back and forth between people. Because one thing Aemon doesn't really have on screen much is the humor aspect, and so I feel like if we're talking about a versus battle, name a couple funny things. I guess maybe when he reveals his blue eye, it's kind of funny.
These strong boys, hilarious. Killed.
Yeah, you know what? It kills maybe the first 2 times. He's like the guy in the corner of the room who keeps repeating the same joke, thinking that no one heard him. But in reality, everybody else heard him like 50 times, and they're just kind of sick of hearing it. That's what's going on with him.
That joke lands. It's hilarious. I love it. And also him. Well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when talking about an actual fight between these two, I think that's something that Aemond is actually lacking a little bit. I think that he is not able to have fun in a way that's like, okay, if he approaches a fight like he was kind of trying to do, where he said, nephews, if you come to train, he knows for a fact he is so superior to those two. He would take them in a fight no matter what. So he could it is. That's what I mean. He could play around with them in that moment, and kind of shoot the shit and talk down and talk shit to him. If he's standing up to a Giga Chad like Daemon, even in his old age, we saw it kind of happen. They had that square off moment, and Daemon just went right up to him. And what happened? Aemond bitched out and walked around like a little flamer, dude.
Okay, well, I do believe Aemond could Aemond could win in a sword fight with Daemon. Right, because he's been trained by Sir Criston Cole, one of the best sword fighters in the realm right now, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, who actually beat Daemon in his prime as well.
Yeah. Now, allegedly.
So I am on Team Aemon for the most part here, but what has me worried is if there's a battle here. Now, we haven't really set the groundwork or the parameters of how this fight will go. We're just kind of saying if they fought each other.
Yeah.
Because if we bring dragons into the equation here, Daemon is one with his Caraxes more than Aemon is with Vhagar. By far,
he is,
right?
And also the giant brooding nature of Vhagar. I understand she's the biggest, strongest dragon. I think it's a girl dragon, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, you're not going to be able to do nearly the tactical maneuvers that Daemon could do. And it's like, I don't know if Daemon on his little baby dragon Caraxes, right? You could just swipe right by and, pick off the rider
Swipe
if you
right.
really wanted to. Yeah, swipe right on Daemon and Aemond, if we're being honest with you. I mean, I'm sure that eye comes out. But you know what I mean? I don't think that the size of the dragon is making the difference here. I don't really think the dragons can come into play because, dude, come on, a dragon back fight. We want to see these boys getting down and dirty in the mud.
Right, but all I'm saying is Aemon's can't really control Vhagar at this point. Vhagar has her own mind made up. So she's like, fuck these young kids. I'm so fucking tired of these new
Yeah,
dragons.
fuck these kids, man. I want to go back down to my home. I think
I love my southern Vhagar.
yeah, exactly. But I think that I didn't really finish my thought earlier. I guess I thought I did, but I didn't. I'm saying that I think Daemon could get in Aemon's mind more so than Aemond could get in Daemon's mind. You know what
Well,
I mean? Because Daemon has that kind of suave thing where he's not taking everything totally seriously. Whereas Aemond, I think, is, even if he kind of comes off cocky, I think it's just because he knows his superiority to the people in the room, and it wouldn't apply to somebody like Daemon. So I think his little, fear or nervousness could get the best of him.
yeah, well, I mean, Aemond has the very sore subject of his eye that seems to be the biggest thing to ever come
Oh,
up. Where it's,
boo-hoo.
oh, please stop. Or I guess the fact that he didn't get a dragon until later on, which I don't get why it's such a sore subject. When that pig gets brought down, they're like, oh, remember that prank we played on you? I'm like, yeah, remember how I stole that He didn't steal it. I shouldn't say that. I'm feeding into that dumb narrative that he stole the dragon. He claimed the dragon. He
Oh.
claimed it rightfully, which is such a awesome base Giga Chad move from Aemon that Daemon would never do. Daemon doesn't have the balls to do that.
So who do you have as your pick? Do you have Aemond for sure?
Well, listen, I'm very team green, as we know. If you can
You
see
are,
my icon
yep.
right now, I am a high tower boy. But it's hard because I know Daemon is so good, and like you said, he could potentially get into. He's like the mental game kind of down pat. Unlike Aemond, Aemon is he's so rigid when it comes to things, which is a good thing for him when he's like duty bound and all of that and focused. But Daemon feels like he could think outside the box in a fight, even though like head to head, Aemon should win.
I'd say so,
Daemon's
yeah.
scrappy enough that he could maybe like throw a bunch of chaos into the whole circumstance and be able to be the top guy.
But you can't see a situation. I think Daemon, could play the long game too. Like we still don't really know exactly what his deal is. He's had so many different intentions throughout the season one. I feel like maybe we don't even know what he wants at this point. Like, given everything he's done, do I really accept that he just decided to settle down with Rhaenyra? Like maybe, but I don't know that. Like, okay,
Yeah, he's so like
is Aemond married or anything yet? I don't think so. I don't think he's betrothed to anybody, is he?
Aemond. He is
Yeah.
right now with according to the end of season 1 of House of Dragon. I think he's betrothed to one of the Baratheon.
Oh, right, one of the Brad. Okay, so imagine this situation: like Daemon
All right.
shows up to square off, or maybe Aemon shows up. I don't know, and they're about to fight. Aemon's got the confidence because he just finished training with Kristen Cole. Maybe he defeated him, killed him like a Sith apprentice, and now he's the dude. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
And then Daemon just looks at him and smiles. Aemon's like, "What are you smiling about?" Then Aemon looks around because he's confused. Looks over at his wife, who's looking extra nervous, and that's when the snap. Daemon has impregnated Aemon's wife in order to get into Aemon's mind and basically, leapfrog over him genetically. And like his kid that Aemon thought was his is now Daemon's kid. Dude, that's alpha. There's no way. Daemon's going to win in that fight.
You're saying, okay, how do we get into the seed fight here?
What are you talking about? Aemon's mental state, he's going to either be like so discouraged that he's not going to be able to perform at all, or he's going to be so angry that he's just flustered and all over the place. His strategy is going to be shit. Daemon's going to take that. It's a walk in the park for him. And I can't see Aemon doing anything like that back to Daemon.
Yeah, I mean, Aemon seem to be not be playing like mental games that are that 4D chess like Daemon would. Yeah, you are right on that aspect. But at the same time, like I'm trying to think of how these two would start a fight, and it feels like Daemon would just like walk away more than he would actually engage with it. If Aemon was like, fight me now, I don't care.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim. And I think you're 100% right about that. But I mean, this is a situation where they have to fight, right? I don't think Daemon would walk away to the extent that we're like, I'm not paying attention to anything behind me, and then he gets a sword through his back. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, right.
So I don't know, man. I'm not on Team Daemon necessarily over Aemon because I think both these characters are great, and I'm not Team Black necessarily either.
Yeah,
I just think that, dude, Daemon, I think, takes this fight. Because physically you really can't tell like who's superior, even though Daemon's past his prime. I mean, a 40-year-old man could take out a 20-year-old man if he's more experienced.
Right, and I think we also assume that Aemon would have the other Valyrian steel sword, the Blackfire, because
I would.
Daemon has Dark Sister.
Dark Sister, yeah.
Yeah, so does incest give you like a super ability in this show? Like, because Aemon has not done, as far as we know, any incest
Right.
I don't know, actions. But Daemon has done a lot, and that's potentially why he has more power here. But I'm wondering, like, if there's like other experiences you get in your life that gives you powers in this, because Aemon has some daddy issues too. Like it's hard to think like Aemon's dad is Viserys. He's not just
Yes.
some random guy, right? So
Right. Yeah, and he's neglected. Viserys. Everybody talks about it. And it's 100% true. He only cares about Rhaenyra, so maybe the daddy issues contribute. I mean, Aemond is like a prodigal fighter. We see it happen. But on the incest topic, I don't think it's too late for Aemond to get some of those superpowers because I do think that probably does contribute to Daemon. And if Aemond is in any way preparing for this fight, which I honestly think he is, as of the end of season 1 of House of the Dragon, how could you not be with that
Yeah.
square off and everything? And the teams are shaping up. I mean, dude, Aegon, his brother, like does not care about his wife / their sister at all. So like, who's to say that Aemond couldn't just kind of sneak in there and get some powers of his own, right? And plus, dude, she's like magical in her own right, isn't she? She can like see the future. Maybe
Oh,
she could
yeah.
actually inject a little bit of that power into Aemond, and Aemond could kind of get that like
I don't know if you want those
point
powers.
5. Dude,
I don't know if
maybe
you
he
want
could
those
predict
powers.
Aemond's moves.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know.
like they'd be cryptic. They'd be like, from the sky comes rain of blood and shit, and you're like, oh, what? I got hit.
Oh shit, it's literal. Yes. Well, dude, I don't know. I think Aemon's smart enough to decode that. That's just me. I'm trying to make a case for Aemon here, even though I don't think he would win. If incest is a factor, I do think he could maybe sneak out a couple extra points before the fight.
Do they get anybody in their corner? A person they can kind of like coach with,
Ooh.
like they're fighting a little bit. Aemon comes back, goes, "Hey, I gotta get some one-liners in," because
Right.
I think
I got to talk shit from the sidelines.
I think you could get. I think he could be coached well enough, Aemon. But then I'm thinking of the coaches. I don't know if he has any that great of coaches. Kristen Cole just fucking hates people. Right?
He
It's just-
does.
he doesn't have a clever way to say anything mean about Rhaenyra. He's just like, she's a dumb cunt. I'm like, okay, cool. That's
Get that look
good
from
one.
Allison.
And also Otto gets like, he's speechless at the table when Damon's like, would you want my wife to keep your bed warm for you, Otto?
Right.
And he's like, what the fuck? And he doesn't even say anything. He just stands up.
See, that's the mind games I'm talking about. Like, you can't say
They're George
anything back to
Costanza's.
Daemon.
They're George Costanza on that fucking side. That's probably why I like Team Green a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, man. But dude, I don't know. It's like, oh shit. Oh no. Okay, so if they get somebody in their corner, if they get like a tag out or whatever, while they can talk shit on the sidelines, I don't think Daemon would necessarily be affected by shit talking from Aemon or anything like that. But if he tags a Kristen Cole, like you were saying earlier, I don't want to accept it. But Kristen Cole is probably a better fighter than Daemon in most situations. So, dude, and I don't think there's anybody on Team Black that can compete with Kristen Cole right now, unless you could think of somebody. I don't think so. So if they get
No.
somebody in their corner to actually help them fight or whatever, even if it's, I was thinking more of a hype man at first, but then now
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe Aemond would go back and become the hype man for the guy he's tagging in. If that's
Yeah.
the case, and it's Kristen Cole, then Aemond's team takes this because, dude, Daemon has nobody. But I think it's a little ridiculous to have to resort to a 2-man team just to take down my boy.
Well, I had sex with your wife.
Yes, Costanza, come on. Anybody
know.
who's seen Seinfeld, tell us what happened in the comments after that. Tell us what
Well, he's
happened
like-
if you're a
he's
true
like,
Seinfeld fan.
His wife is, or your sister. It's your
Yes,
sister.
yeah, complete it. In the show, it was, I had sex with your wife. They said his wife's in a coma, and that tied into the whole other area of the show. Tell us what would happen in the House of the Dragons version.
Listen, if I'm trying to think like who would actually win, it's probably Daemon, but I want Aemon to win so badly.
Thank you.
I want him to win. When we first were watching the series, just let everybody know if they haven't watched any of our other videos, we are super simping after Daemon. Bay's super cool, but Aemon is the more duty-bound guy. That's why I like him more, that he's more focused on a clear mission, unlike Daemon, because all it seemed like Daemon wanted to do is get in Rhaenyra's pants, which... kind of creepy, but you appreciate
is.
the hustle after a while, you know? You got what he...
I appreciate the hustle. Yeah, well, it's dedication to the bit, maybe too. It's like, dude, wouldn't it be hilarious if I fucked my niece?
No, not really. Come on,
I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah,
for a second.
just wait. I'll do it, and you're gonna have a whole different outlook on it. It's gonna be hilarious. And then he died. So, but I think that Aemond and Daemon both. Listen, this fight would be a lot more entertaining to me. Also, if they both gained like 20 pounds of solid muscle. I'm just saying, because they're both
True.
kind of twinkish, and actually Daemon's a little bit naffy. I think,
Yeah.
in his old age.
Well, let us know who you think wins this fight between Daemon and Aemond. Smash that like button, like I guess like Gator said, like Daemon's gonna smash Aemon's Baratheon wife here
Yes,
to get
sir.
into his head before the fight.
She can't read. She'll just do it.
And subscribe if you want to see more content like this.